All right, in this clinic, we're going to go through how we run our rocket, what we call our rocket and laser package out of different trips formations. Okay, our rocket and laser are just basically quick screens to the outside wide receiver. So I'm just going to show you a clip here real quick. This first clip is from week 12. We are playing an undefeated football team. This is early in the game. We ended up winning this game handedly because they really struggled to defend the perimeter. And because we took advantage of that in the first half, we were able to run the ball efficiently between the tackles in the second half. So this play can open up your offense quite a bit on the inside as well, not just on the outside. But this first clip here is just, it's just to show you how explosive the play is. And then I'm going to get into drawing it up, the blocking scheme, things like that, when to throw it as opposed to handing it off. Then I'm going to get into the mechanics of the play, the blocking scheme, when to fold block it, when to block man on, what is most dangerous, how to get your kids to understand, who to block and which way to try to take them while they're blocking them. Okay, so let's look at this clip real quick here. If you'll notice, the outside receiver is going to catch the ball. We have our 17-yard splits at the widest guy. So number 3 is catching the ball here. You notice we're throwing the ball hash to hash. Okay, so we don't ever have our widest receiver. Our widest receiver is always no more than 17 yards from the ball. Okay, pretty cool concept here. We're going to go through this real quick before we go into drawing it up. Okay, so let's take a look at this one more time here. You'll notice that our point man takes this guy right here because he's the most dangerous, and then our backside guy has no threat because he sees that this guy looks like he's blitzing. Okay, so if this guy blitzes, he's not a factor out here in our screen game. The safety is right dead smack in the middle of the field, so that's a long area for him to cover to come make this tackle. But then we're one-on-one with him, and we've already gained a significant amount of yards on the play. We're happy with a 5-yard gain on any play. So as you can see, what he's thinking right now is that his responsibility is probably going to be to fold to this guy. Well, what winds up happening is our point man takes this first guy, okay, and then you'll notice that they kind of work together to bump on to the next guy here. Okay, so it's kind of like your offensive line, when you uno ace and do your different combo blocks with the offensive line. It's pretty much the same technique. And the way we practice that is we literally just give them different, versions of these 4 guys out on the field. And we do drills where these 2 got to figure out who the most dangerous guys on the field are and who they need to block. Knowing that the goal on this play is always to stay to the outside. Okay, so the reason we take our splits, so if you'll notice, our splits are from hash to hash with our widest wide receiver. When he catches this football, he's trying to get out here because he's got all this 17 yards to make one guy miss, and it's usually going to be this guy. Okay, because we're going to block these 2. Okay, so let's watch it one more time here now that we kind of went over that, and then I'll draw it up for you. But most important things are definitely the splits, and then the drills that you're doing in your blocking technique. Okay, so you'll notice, our point man takes this guy and stays with him, and because the point man attacks the screen, which he should do, our point man takes him, and our inside wide receiver winds up coming underneath and blocking him, which is fine. It just causes your receiver to go in and then back out. And again, we love this concept. We run this 10, 20 times a game until they spread out so much that we can run between the tackles. Okay, so again, he has to make one guy miss, and we're off to the races. Let's draw this up real quick just to go over the rules and kind of how things work. Okay, so I'll draw it up to the right this time just so you can see. Okay, we like to run this. Any trip set is fine. Really, it just depends on who you want blocking and who you want catching the football. Number 3 in that clip was a finalist for Mr. Football in Ohio, so he was one of the top 4 football players in the state of Ohio in that season. So obviously we wanted him touching the ball. That's kind of why he was on the outside. Our split ends are usually our biggest guys. So you'll notice the kid that was blocking was our point man was 6'5". Okay, so we had him there, and then our slot receiver on the inside. Now, if you want your big guy, like if you got your tight end is your stud, then just go trips and have him on the out. Your point man, your split end here on the outside, and move your H back to the inside. Okay, then that's all just ball bearings. Okay, so we run this out of all kinds of different looks. Okay, backfield action, we flash fake in front, and then his job is to protect. We're just base protecting this. Okay, so our offensive line is not going out into the call, so we're going to use our standard base protection, which is just our normal pass pro. So we're going to be here with it, and he's always got the A-gap linebacker, and those two are working to him. Okay, so it's kind of like it's basically an ISO scheme, but we're pass prone with it. That's our general pass protection. Quarterback doesn't flash fake. He can if it happens fast, but what we're trying to do is catch the ball, flip your hips, and get that thing out there as fast as possible. My recommendation would be no flash fake. Let the tailback roll over the mesh and let him do all the faking, and your quarterback just needs to play shortstop, catch the snap his hips, and get it out there as quick as he can. Obviously, throwing this ball with a right-handed quarterback to the left would be easier, but we do run this both ways and very effectively. Okay, so let's just say, you get your typical high school football, defense here. Let's say it's a too high defense just to make things simple, because that's kind of what we saw in the last film. And then you're usually going to have either somebody jamming the point man. Your Sam backer's either going to jam the point man, or he's going to play slightly inside and split those two. In the clip you saw, he was blitzing, so that's just a called blitz, and that's fine. We saw it, and that's why we threw it out there. Okay, but if they don't do that, that's fine too. Okay, so in this look right here, what we would try to do is we would try to fold. Okay, we would try to go here because that corner's off. We got room to get to him, and we got a good angle with our big split end. The ball carrier is going to take one step forward, one step back, catch the football, and then he is trying to get to the outside. Okay, so let's look at a different, let me erase some of this, and let's go over maybe a cover 3, because you will see that a lot in high school as well. That usually just means that your corners are deeper, so now they're probably around 10 yards. You're probably going to get your free safety closer to here, maybe splitting, your tackle and your first inside receiver there, and you're going to get your Sam backer, definitely probably jamming that point man in some way. And you're going to have your wills probably either going to be blitzing off the edge, which you'll see a lot in trips with a 4-4 defense, or you'll see him standing in that alleyway to take away the slant, or you'll see him back up and play some sort of a safety look. For this, it's really irrelevant because we're going the other way with it, but let's just say he's in a normal 4-4 alignment so we can look at it. Let's just say he's here. You're going to have wider defensive ends probably if that backer is removed, because now he's more of a contained player. He's not just turned loose like he would be if you were in some sort of a two-back set. So if we get this look, okay, we're going to attack him right off the ball, and then sometimes, if the point man's job is a jam, which you kind of saw in that clip, he's going to fight to get over the top of this. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to double team that guy. Okay, so our point man is going to make sure to keep his butt to our back that's carrying the ball, our wide receiver out here that's catching this football, and then he's going to get help from our slot receiver, and the slot receiver is going to try to drive him to the sideline, and then the point man is going to work his way off to the corner. Okay, now you're saying, well, what if that doesn't happen perfectly? Well, they feel it out, and that's why we do these drills in practice every day. So it could also happen, if you get this same exact front, okay, so let's just say, we get him playing in here, right, and we get back here, okay, then we're going to fold this, obviously, just like that last look, okay, because that's what we're concerned with. That's ideal right there, okay, but that's, not always what happens, okay, and then sometimes you're going to get teams that try to scheme for this concept. And if they scheme for it, they think they're going to be smart, and they're going to line this guy up on his outside shoulder. Okay, and they're going to walk this guy down a little bit and play lower, and they're going to play lower. And they're saying, you're not going to run that screen against us. Well, that's fine. It actually makes it better because we just drive him to the sideline, and he winds up getting in his way, and we work both those guys to him and then bump them off like we want to anyways. He's going to get inside and go right back outside. And if it's not there, that's why we have our tempo 2s and things like that. If they walk all three of these guys over here, now you have to, you call something else and you take advantage of what's not there, like a post right there because there's no safety. Okay, or you check to a different quick game concept or whatever to that side of the field. Okay, and you can also see that if you could run any of our inside concepts here, and there's no third level defender. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have them beat, right? We have everybody blocked. You could run quarterback ISO, you could run quarterback counter tray, you could run, there's infinite number of solutions if they give you one of these gimmick defenses. Gimmick defenses never work. Okay, so they can try to plan for this all they want. If they overcompensate on one side of the things to try to take away our bubbles and our rocket and laser screen, we're going to get them somewhere else. So now let's look at a few more live clips of this. Okay, let's take a look at a few more clips of this. Okay, this one kind of the same look. Not too different. As you can see, the point man is on his inside shoulder. Okay, so that's easy for our guy to get his butt to our receiver and fend him off from blowing up the play right off the bat. That also means that our guy's going to try to fold to this guy, which is great. Safety again in the middle of the field. This is a different team, different week. Same kind of look, except we're not getting that blitz off the edge. So as you can see, that's a pretty good job at the fold block right there. And before our receiver ever has anything even remotely close to being tackled, he's 5, 10, almost 10 yards downfield. Okay, and we'll take that all day, right? So that's a great look at a fold block. Okay, let's look at another one here. Okay, on this one, this team's lining up, as you can see, even with his angle. Even with the angle, you can see right here that he is eyeballs in the backfield, and he's almost on the hash here, so he is significantly outside, of our point man. So that means we're going to try to drive him to the sideline, which is great. We have a low outside linebacker and a low outside linebacker that could be blitzing or not. It's irrelevant because he's so far away from the receiver. And then we have a moderate to deep corner. So again, initial contact. He's trying to work him downfield. He is going right now to try to get around this guy to fold. The corner disappears. Okay, so now watch what happens. Because our Z sees, you can see where his eyes are, you can see that he sees that corner is not a threat anymore. Watch what happens. So now what happens is because our point man drove this guy off the ball, he's going to work to the corner that comes back into the play, and our receiver is going to bump him off. So that was that bumping him off action that we showed you. And as you can see, it's too late for the rest of the interior linebackers and that outside linebacker that was low on the line of scrimmage. Anytime you get that low outside linebacker, this plays gold. Great job here by the wide receivers blocking this one. Makes it easy to score touchdowns like this. Okay, on the next look here, they're trying to be sneaky. They're playing low cover 2 corners, looking inside. They actually removed a guy from the box. So if you notice, they're in like a 4-1 look with that overhang outside backer down here to the left. And you can see that their guy that's jamming the point man, or not jamming, he's basically just standing there staring at him because he's too far off to jam him, and he's letting things happen. So they're getting sneaky, trying to think this cover 2 corner is going to come down and blow this up. Okay, and if you notice, they're playing man on the backside. Their safety is not even in the screen. So you got this outside linebacker here who, we can do anything we want here if our guy's better than their guy because you're straight one-on-one. Okay, but we like this look over here because, again, it's 2-on-3. The safety's not even in the screen, so he's irrelevant in this concept. So let's watch, as this develops here. Okay, so what you see is our point man kicks out that low corner, which that's fairly easy block for most kids, especially when your point man's bigger than the little corner. So if that's your split end, your tight end guy, it should be easy task for him. Okay, the back does a good job of feeling it out. Our guy catching the football, of taking a step to the ball. The Z works to the guy. Notice the angle the Z takes. He is going straight to, pause. So if you notice, the Z is sprinting straight to the corner, and because the corner goes, the angle that he takes, because he's trying to work to the outside to get his butt over to the sideline. Like his goal is to get his butt facing the sideline with the guy that he's blocking. Okay, so he sprints pretty much straight down the line of scrimmage and gets to where he needs to be to wall off that backer that's over top of the point man. And again, these are drills you do every day in practice. Okay, so great job kicking that guy out, making sure you don't miss. And then the Z, our inside slot, gets his butt pretty much exactly where we want it to be on that hash, so we have everything outside the hash to win. And he has to make a safety miss, and he's off to the races. Okay, so even if that safety tackles him, we're talking a 10-yard gain. Okay, safety misses, you're scoring a touchdown. Great concept. Okay, this last one here is a look. This is actually week 1. Okay, so this is week 1, and it's against a football team that played in the Final Four in the state of Ohio the year before. So they were a pretty good football team in our state. Okay, so now on this one, remember we said that this is a 3-4 team. So what we were trying to do is spread them out. So we had a wide call on our big formation. So if you'll notice, this is a really long throw. And the reason we did this was because of the way they would adjust to it. So what this did was it gave us, and we also knew that they blitzed their inside linebackers a lot. So what this did was, if these guys are blitzing most of the time, they were coming after us. That gives us easier blocking points for these two, because remember, we're only trying to get 5 yards. We're not trying to score every time we run this. Okay, so we're confident that if we got 2-on-3, we can win most of the time. Yes, the ball takes a little bit longer to get out there. This is not something we did more than probably 2 times against 2 different teams the entire season. This was just a unique defense that we were playing that was really big and really athletic. And we wanted to get them in space so we could get our best football player on some of their worst ones. And the way we did that was by keeping all of these guys away from the point of attack, which was now out by the sideline. So now he's just trying to work down the sideline as fast as he can. Okay, and we got him with this a couple times in this week. And again, this is not how we normally do this. This is just a little wrinkle against a team that we kind of schemed this for. But again, if you get in a situation where the team's got 4 DBs that are big, strong, athletic, and they're better than your wide receivers, Okay, you can still take advantage of some of these concepts, these quick screens. Okay, so if you notice right away, our point man just gets shedded, and their outside linebacker does a great job, who's jamming him, does a great job of throwing his hips to the outside because they know, what our scheme is. We're trying to run that rocket and laser. The Z, if you'll notice, runs straight down the line of scrimmage to make sure he gets his butt to the outside of him. And we still have, if you notice, 5-6 yards to win on the outside. So because we get a piece of him with our point man, and then our Z gets his butt in the hole, the Z doesn't have to do much other than get in his way, and we're already by him. And then the point man does a great job of working to the next level and kicking out that corner, so our back goes in and then back out. And that's right. Right there, we're already the gain that we want, and anything after this is just bonus. Okay, and he does a good job of making one more guy miss, and a 5-yard gain turns into 5, 10, 15-yard gain ish. Okay, so that's our rocket and laser screen out of our any trips package. Again, we liked in this season, we liked running it out of big because we liked that our split end, our big split end was out there as a point man blocking. We wanted our backs, our little scat backs, and our all-state football player catching the football. If your all-state guy is your split end, then just run it out of trips. Okay, so there's lots of ways you can do this. I've showed you the 2x2 sets in a different clinic film. This one was just on trips. If you got any questions, put them in the comments below, and let's get on to the next.